What's up, guys? Welcome back to another great episode of Beerfield Shots. I'm your host tonight, Dan Theory at Theory BFF. You can follow my two wonderful co-hosts, Nick Sparts at Nick Sparts and Chris Hopper at Hop BFF with two P's. You can follow the show page on both Twitter and Instagram at BeerfieldFF, on Facebook at Beerfield Fantasy Football. We have a lot of news today, so I'm going to deliver it to you guys in a quick shots style. Some of this news is going to be talked in more detail once we get to our podcast, which we'll be recording in the next couple days, especially the Zeke news. So let's just go on and get started with our main news topic today, and that's Ian Rappaport reports. Really hate saying that. Zeke's appeal is carrying over into Wednesday. I thought this was already over. I thought that his appeal was already denied and he was going to go into the court system, which would delay his suspension and allow him to resume all activities, which means playing into the season. Think of the Tom Brady type of situation from Deflategate a couple years ago. So just keep your eyes peeled for this. As a show, we're going to get into this a lot more. Both Nick and Chris own Zeke in redraft leagues, which I think to them they're going to be really monitoring the situation and things like that. So quickly moving on again, Matthew Stafford today got a 5-year extension, which includes a $50 million signing bonus and $92 million guaranteed. This was expected to come. He's the face of their franchise. They believe in him. He's still fairly young. This is still a team on the rise, and I expect them to compete if their defense is there. We're big Matthew Stafford fans there. Not much else to say. Next big piece of news is the 49ers traded Vance McDonald and a 5th-round pick to the Steelers for their 4th-round pick. They've been talking about doing this for a while. They've been trying to move him, which seems to be all preseason. So what this immediate impact does is that Kittle now, Kittle now moves into a low-end tight end 2 for just redraft and things like that. I think of Njoku as a good bench stats if you're in a 14-plus team league. But this is really big for Dynasty, as you can now pick him up probably in most leagues and stash him there. He should be the immediate starter. He's a great pass blocker. He's a good run blocker. In college, he showcased his ability to play from the H-back role, which they don't really need him because they have Kyle Juszczyk's there. So that's kind of his impact right now. I know as a show we'll probably talk about this as well when we talk about the Zeke news. From the Pittsburgh side, Mike Tomlin came out and said that they made this trade because he wanted more consistency from the tight end position. I don't think it was just Jesse James, but the tight end group as a whole needed to be more consistent. I think Jesse James is still the tight end number 1 there with Vance McDonald as the number 2 tight end, which kind of crushes any Xavier Grimble, I guess, upside hype trainish that is there, maybe. But Jesse James was already a low-end tight end 2 at this point. He had some high-end tight end 2 upside, streamer quality. But as of right now, with Mike Tomlin's, kind of expressing his lack of trust in him, we may see a TEBC or a tight end by committee. Moving on to some Titans news. Both Eric Decker and Corey Davis has returned to practice today. Eric Decker has only been gone for a week, but he's been kind of dealing with injuries. He's 30 years old. He's still a really good tight end, or he's still really good in the red zone when it comes to touchdowns, but he has to battle with the upside of Corey Davis. They still have Richard Matthews. They drafted Taywan Taylor, who's had some of his hype up and down throughout the summer, and then has kind of leveled off in preseason. You still have Delaney Walker and the great running game there, so I don't know how much Decker's value is right now. But the big one is Corey Davis. He hasn't practiced all preseason. He hasn't practiced since August 3rd, actually. And if you drafted Corey Davis, you got to expect him to have a slow start coming out the gate. I actually like his value right now in most redrafts. Per FF Calc, his ADP is actually 10th round, 5th pick, which in comparison to Decker, which is 7.12, you're getting a 2-round better value with a lot higher upside. As a show, we love Corey Davis. We hope he gets healthy, and we get to showcase what we saw on tape from him during college. I still love his upside. I actually really like him as a dash or uh, as a bench dash wide receiver 4 or 5 with wide receiver 2 upside. Um, so go out there, get your Corey Davis at good value. But moving on to some Panthers news, Ron Rivera states, "We don't know how Cam will perform." Cam has been coming back from his injury, I believe. Um, the team itself, Ron Rivera wants him to throw more, run less. They want to protect him for the franchise, which is great for him and for the NFL and for the Panthers. But for fantasy, it really ruins his value. He's always been a great running quarterback, giving you fantastic running stats. We saw what he did in his MVP season, where he threw for, I think, 35 touchdowns. Very minimal amount of picks, maybe somewhere around 10 or something like that. I don't remember, but I believe 10 rushing touchdowns. They're going to kind of, I guess, ease him back into this. And if you go back and watch his one series in their week 3 game against the Eagles, he only played one series. He only threw the ball twice, and they ran the ball every time during that series. I don't really like him that much for redraft. He does have his upside, but if they want to stay true to him being more of a being more of a passer instead of a runner, that really limits his fantasy upside. I still have him as a high-end QB streamer. Draft him with some caution. If you are going to start him week 1, start with caution, as I guess they don't know how he's going to perform. Moving over to Atlanta, Devonta Freeman's been cleared of the concussion protocol. We've expected this. It's already been said. He's back to practice. Not shocked. Keep living your life. I've moved him back up to my RB7. I still have, he's always battled with some injuries. He's missed some time. That's why they have Tevin Coleman there. So no worries from that standpoint. Mitchell Trubisky is playing in the 4th preseason game. This isn't a shocker at all either. He isn't the starter yet. All starters should be playing in this 4th game. All rookie quarterbacks should be playing in this 4th game. This includes the newly stated starter in Cleveland, DeShone Kizer. They all need their reps. They all need to, get more acclimated into the NFL and things like that. I've been a big fan of Trubisky's upside this preseason. He's really flashing. As we all can see, he's the best quarterback in Chicago at this point. Moving over to Washington, Jay Gruden, the coach there, said that Josh Doctson hasn't done much for us. Right now, he's the wide receiver 4 behind Pryor, Crowder, and Robert Davis. Maybe even Brian Quick, so makes him the wide receiver 5. Who knows? What this tells me is that he needs to get healthy. He needs to get healthy quick, and he needs to start flashing right after he gets healthy. Because it sounds like Washington's maybe ready to move on from him. I don't see why that's the case. They spent a 1st-round draft pick on him last year to get him, but he really hasn't done much for them. And this is a team maybe thinking they're in win-now mode, and Doctson really isn't a win-now piece for them if you can't stay healthy. If you own Doctson in both redraft and Dynasty, keep an eye on this situation. This is fairly important because you need to know what's going to happen to him not only this season, but moving forward and on. Our last piece of news, Matt Forte is on the trade block. The Jets have stated this isn't a shocker at all either. They're a rebuilding team, and a 32-year-old zombie Forte really isn't going to benefit from a rebuild. The only true problem with this is that he has $4 million in guaranteed money, which may be a little tricky to pawn off. Some teams off the hand that may benefit from his help. Obviously the Giants, even though they have Shane Vereen. Maybe the Eagles if they don't trust Blunt and Smallwood. And I'm sure there's other teams out there. He obviously used to be an amazing running back, but with age and obviously some injuries has really kind of stunted that value with them. And the Jets are just looking to see what they can get from him. That's all the news that I have for you guys today. I'm going to be working on some of my 3rd preseason games reviews. We've had some technical difficulties over the last couple of days with my computer getting this set up. and then also with some scheduling, as you guys have seen, we have kind of righted that ship over the last couple of days. So we should be able to keep scheduling these out, for you. We want to bring you these things daily for you guys. Keep you up on the news, and then keep you up on what we're thinking about these pieces of news and preseason games. So please subscribe and follow us on YouTube. Leave us comments about how we're doing with this, what you guys may want to see. Also follow us on iTunes and Google Music. All anything with podcasts related, our podcasts, mail ordered stuff. If you want to have Hopper in your home for free, or maybe if he's worth that much, love you, buddy. Otherwise, yes, please subscribe and leave reviews on iTunes. It does help us a lot. It's huge. We want people to see us and find us on there quickly. Let them experience the goofiness, the sometimes off drunkenness of us and our all rants and Nick getting mad at Chris, and Chris dropping funny puns. But I've taken too much of your time. Thank you guys. We'll see you soon. Peace.